Hey, welcome everyone to the beginner's room with me today to look into the market together. We'll be talking about multi-time frame analysis. The title for today is technical trading. So, as technical traders, one of the things that you would know or have heard of is using multi-time frame in your analysis. And I've had couple of people ask me questions about a good way to use multiple time frame in their analysis. Many people find it difficult understanding what time frame to trade from. For instance, I had a guy with me yesterday in the offline class here, and he was asking that his caps, all right, but his caps from the 1 hour, but someone told him it is better to use the 15-minute or the 5 minute time frame. So what time frame do you use in your analysis? Do you um, do swing trade and you do that from the 15 minutes, or you do it from the daily or from the weekly? What time frame do you like to trade from, and how do you analyze your um, chart? Okay, how do you analyze, and how do you make trade decisions? That's what we are going to be talking about in the class today. By the way, my name is Olugbemi. I'm from Nigeria and one of XM instructor is here with you. So feel free to ask me all of your questions if there's anything you do not understand at all from what I am sharing today, or maybe you have a trade ongoing for you that you would like us to look at together. Please do well to share. I'll start by taking a look at the two trades I have ongoing, um, gold and oil. All right. So I have a trade on gold ongoing. Let's remove the lines on this. Okay. So I have a trade ongoing on gold. It's a sell. And what's one of the reasons I saw that made me to decide on selling? It was some pattern that I like to trade with on the chart. So I saw that the price has been moving for quite some times. I started my analysis from the weekly because I like to do multi-time frame analysis. So when I go to the weekly, I am analyzing to see a bigger picture of the market to have an idea how the market is moving, all right, in the bigger time frame. And that way, it gives me clarity on what I want to do when I go to the lower time frame. So the higher time frame isn't for me to find an entry. It is basically for me to analyze and have an idea of the bigger picture, have an idea of what the major direction of the market is. Okay. And then I move on. So from this weekly, for instance, on the gold, I see that where we are is a major resistance. Okay. So you would see that a couple of times in the past, this has been touched. Now, a level of resistance or support becomes um, a level that is strong. Okay, it becomes strong when it's been touched more than multiple times, at least 3 times. If it got touched 3 times, then it is seen as a strong zone, right? And if you look at this, just from this area we are looking from, you would see that it got touched here around the 2020. It moved up, and then somewhere early 2022 the price got there again, and what did we see? Some bounce to the downside. And again, we are back to that area. And in the last 6 weeks, what have we been seeing? We see a lot of wicks here, which we can also call exhaustion, all right, or shadows. So having upper shadows on the candles indicate that the buyers are not as strong as they were. You see, there was a big bullish candle here, which would help us have an idea that the buyers are strong. Okay, but what did we see afterwards? We saw that on getting to the resistance, many times the buyers have tried to push this, but are unable to. And then look at this long wick we have on this candle. That tells me that the sellers were getting stronger because the price had been pushed above this area at some point, and then it begins to push back down again. Still, I am looking at the candles and I see that there's more like a struggle between the buyers and the sellers because even the sellers have not been able to push it strongly to the downside compared with what we've seen in the past. So if you look at this, you would see that when the price pushed down from here, the next bearish candle was an engulfing bearish candle, which already showed that the sellers got much stronger than the buyers. And then again here, we saw that the next candle after this bearish pin bar was also a big bearish candle, which also indicated the strength of the sellers. However, by the time we are getting here this time, there's been more like struggle, like a whole lot of struggle between the buyers and the sellers. And so that makes it quite difficult for us to expect that the price is going to push down continuously for a long time, because it looks like the are kind of struggling with the sellers. Okay, so in that case, we may not be able to expect this, to go all the way down the way it did in the past. And that's another reason I feel, well, if it gets down here, it is possible that it bounces and maybe with a stronger strength this time around, and then able to break through that resistance. That's why I am placing my take profit here. Okay, so but this is still the weekly time frame. So how did I then enter if I am not going to enter from the weekly? So I have come to the weekly to have an idea that the we got to around a strong resistance, and the price is unable to push through the resistance to the upper side. So in that case, I'm expecting that it comes down a little bit. So going to the daily as well, I would see that at some points we have what we could see looking like some double top price pushed to this area, got down a little bit, then it got there again, and it is moving down. It has not formed a complete double top because the neckline is not broken. Double top is a pattern I like to see a lot because it dictates that the trend is likely changing direction, that we may see a reversal. So if a reversal is coming in the trend, then I would like to use the opportunity to also enter the new trend on time. Okay, so this is it. We have like a W pattern forming, not fully formed yet, because if it forms, I would want to see a break below the neckline. Okay, so if that break comes below the neckline, then I would expect that goes down even more. Now, seeing this doesn't still tell me to do a buy, a sell, because if I'm looking at it on the daily like this, it doesn't fulfill the requirement for my entry yet. So the question is, why then do I have this entry? I have it because from a lower time frame perspective, I was able to see a reason to go short. And you would see that I've analyzed from the weekly and the daily now. And next, I'm going to I could check the 4 hour. Okay, so between 4 hour and 1 hour are where I take my entry. So looking at it from the 4 hour, that day I had seen this move to the upside. I see a break to the downside with a big bearish candle like this. And I saw that when it was retracing, it was going up in what I could call like an ascending channel. All right, ascending channel is like a pattern that is a continuation pattern for a downtrend. So now this is moving down, strongly pushed to the downside. We have a short double top there, which already got broken with this bearish candle. And then we have all of this correction. And if you look at this correction, look at how inside of here, and compare that with just two candles that had broken here. Still, all of these plenty candles did not go 100% above the two candles that had pushed down like this. So that's telling me that the trend is still to the downside, and all of these are just correction. So if I see this breaking, that is an indication for me to go ahead and sell. So when it broke like this, I saw it somewhere at the points here, and then I placed a pending holder for a sell limit. So by the time the price retested this area, it took me in for a sell. However, I entered really from the 1 hour time frame, because on the 1 hour, I saw about three patterns, that were there. I saw here a double top, which got broken with this bearish engulfing candle. I see this corrective up moving trend, and I also see inside of air like head and shoulders pattern. So all three patterns are dictating sell for me. And because of that, I was able to see, okay, let's do a sell. It was in a live class like this too, when I set the pending order for here, price was somewhere down here. So I set a pending order, price goes back up, took me in. And here we have, I expect that this would still go down, but not, it may not go down for a very long time, but that's what I have done. What you would notice I have done is multi-time frame analysis. I went from one time frame to another. And there are rules that you can use that would guide you in analyzing using multi-time frame like I have done with this gold trade that I have ongoing. And I like to show that to you in a slide. I have a slide prepared to explain more to you on how to use multi-time frame in your analysis. So let me show you from here first. Looking at this, I have 4 slides here, 4 charts that I combined together in this pictorial illustration. This one is showing the monthly chart, this is showing the weekly, this is showing the daily, and this is showing the hourly chart. Now, if you look at it very well, see, just 4 months candles is what we have in here. And it's giving me a big move to the upside. Now, look at it in the weekly, it's moving strongly to the upside as well. There isn't, obvious correction. This one on the monthly is just giving me only bullish candles, right? There isn't any single bearish candle in it. But we're coming to the weekly. We saw just about 1, 2 bearish candles that form in between, but mainly this is still like an impulse move to the upside. However, coming to the daily, we began to see that in between there are times that corrections happen. All right. There are times that we have small corrections here and there on the daily, but it is still within this one. So sometimes a new trader get confused that what is happening. I go to the hourly time frame, I'm seeing a downtrend because sometimes you would see a clear downtrend, the price moving strongly to the downside. But you come to the weekly and it is just 1 week candle that is bearish. And you're wondering, why is it the weekly is showing me an uptrend, the daily is looking uptrend, but I go to the 1 hour and it is a downtrend. I go to the 15 minutes, it's a downtrend. So how do I trade it? How do I understand? How do I go about it? This pictorial illustration here gives you a clear understanding, or a clear view of what happens. Okay, so this is monthly time frame, and we have just 4 monthly candles making up this area. But look at it on the weekly. We have more candles because every month has 4 week candle inside of it. All right. Then if we go to daily, every 1 monthly candle you're seeing here, we have like over 20 of the daily candles inside of it, depending on the market you're looking at. If you are looking at the crypto market, for instance, it's a 7 days a week market. And obviously you're going to see in a month, you would see over 30, you can see up to 30 candles that would make up just 1 monthly candle. So imagine that it's just 1 monthly candle that is bearish. What do you think would happen if you go to the hourly time frame? Okay, because on the hourly time frame, imagine how many hours candle we would have in just 1 month. So this is the reason why you see sometimes it's a lower time frame is showing another direction compared to higher time frame. So it is important to note this, and that helps you to understand. It gives you a clarity on how you go about trading. If you like to enter from 1 hour or even from 15 minutes or 5 minute time frame, going to the higher time frame is just to give you an idea of what the bigger picture is doing, and maybe to have an idea of what the day candle is doing. That way you can come then into a lower time frame, and then okay, I'm doing a buy here, but it is just a correction on the higher time frame. So even if I am going to trade it, I will be careful not to stay too long in it, because it is only correcting from what I'm seeing on the higher time frame. The major trend is to the downside. Okay, so that gives you that understanding, and once you have that understanding, it becomes easier to trade. So how do we apply this? There are reasons why it's important to use multi-time frame in your trades, and I'm going to mention them a little, and then we go on to talk more about it. Do we have any question from the class? Okay, it looks like we do not have a question here, so let's continue. Okay, so it increases the probability of getting into a winning trade because now you're clear about what the direction of a market is. You know that, okay, this is where the market is heading. This is the major direction, and what we are seeing is maybe just a correction. And I want to trade it in a certain way. Okay. Um, it helps you see the big picture of the trend. So you're looking at a trend. Is this the right trend in the higher time frame? It helps you to see the bigger picture, so which is quite important for you to see.